Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's I, Charlie, and I'm back for something slightly different. In this episode, we're going to go over MomoCon. 4 days of awesomeness, which I experienced 3 days plus 2.5 hours of. MomoCon started last week. That would have been last Thursday. Let me check my calendar. The 28th of March. And of course, it ran all the way to this past Sunday, which was the 31st of March. MomoCon is it's becoming more and more of a general fandom convention in Atlanta. It has its roots it actually started, I believe, at Georgia Tech, and has now grown to over 20,000 people coming to see the awesomeness that is a ton of really amazing panels, voice actors, artists, which, by the way, there's an artist there that holds a special place in Alter Confusion's heart, and that, of course, is Jackie Lewis. If you swung by her place, she had a table there. She had all of her stuff on sale. I hope that you bought, like, everything. If you did not, shame on you! But that's okay. If you keep tabs on her, you'll find out that she's going to be at quite a few conventions. The really cool thing about Jackie Lewis is the fact that outside of, like, the official published stuff, she does her own freaking binding. Like the covers, the actual thread, the glue, the pages, the drawings, it's all her. So support your local artist. I know we do. Okay, let's see here. MomoCon. So Thursday, I was briefly at MomoCon for a panel. It was called Writing for Video Games, in which I was by far the novice in the group, and like I've been doing for a while, I want to apologize to the moderator, Eddie Webb, for the fact that I'm almost 100% sure that you could see his hands in the video, but nothing else, because I did not anticipate so many people sitting around the small table. So I apologize. I'm sorry, Eddie. I really am. But you can hear we can hear you. So then again, if we had switched places, probably been beneficial, because I really didn't have much to add. Because let's be honest, when you have like individuals like Bill Bridges on the panel and Eddie Webb, I don't really have to say that much. The only thing I really got to tell you about was the Georgia Game Developers Association, the IGDA Atlanta chapter, which, you know, looking back on it, would I still do it knowing that I wasn't going to talk very much? Absolutely, because I loved getting to hear what everyone had to say, and that was basically the only way I was going to be able to catch that panel. Now, of course, Alter Confusion did have 2 panels. The usual culprits, the destruction of the game industry. And so you finish making your indie game and you think you're done. Both had pretty good attendance. I'm very excited for anyone who came out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you who did come out, I'm going to run a contest on Alter Confusion in the very, very near future for a free 3 months of the IndieBox, which is an amazing product that if you don't know what it is, you need to go to the IndieBox.com and find out about it right now. It is basically, it's like Loot Crate, but for independent games. I highly recommend it. We fully support it. So, IndieBox. We're going to be running a contest where one lucky fan is going to win a 3-month free subscription to the IndieBox. You can't get much better than that, because not only do you get to support the indies, but you also get a ton of like awesome additional stuff. Just for randomness, let's see here. I've got a couple things around here from this month's IndieBox, which was Discourse. I have an actual character from the game, and if you want to go to last month's IndieBox, the next Penelope, you get that's right, a slap bracelet on top of a bunch of other stuff. You know, random cool stuff where you can only get through the IndieBox. Sign up today! Okay, the second panel, and of course, you know, so that was our 2 panels. Of course, we had a booth there for everyone who stopped by. Hello! Thank you for coming to our booth. And let me reiterate to everyone out there who did stop by our booth, as much as we would love to take credit for all the amazing games that we showcased at our booth, we did not make any of those games. We are an independent video game news video game news and review website. We review exclusively independently developed titles. I'm sorry, I'm really tongue-tied because I said the same thing over and over and over and over and over again at MomoCon, and I had so many amazing conversations that my brain's kind of just like... So anyways, one second. Oh, the elixir of life, that is the Mountain Dew! For those of you who are wondering. Already filled. I couldn't even. I had to fill the cup before I even videoed. I needed the power. Anyways, some of the games that we showed off, because I know that a bunch of you were like, well, what was that game that you were playing that day? All right, so we played Guns, Gore, and Cannoli by Crazy Monkey Studios, available now on Steam and I believe on the PlayStation 4. Do not quote me though, but according to the website, when I try to Google the game, they kept saying PlayStation 4. So if it's not there, perhaps it's getting there. But it's an amazing game. You're going to see a Let's Play or playthrough or however the heck you want to say it in the very, very near future. I'm about to edit that after this is posted on YouTube. That was for those of you who came by the booth, that was the Mafia side-scrolling adventure game with zombies. Some of you saw a game that involved what looked like a steam-powered miner. That game, of course, is Steam World Dig, which Ultra Confusion found out about because of IndieBox. Otherwise, they would have gone right past our radar. I'm trying to think what the other games that we played. Oh, yes. So we played a game that I made mention to in the last Thursday Night Hangout. I want to mention it again. This game is called Sproggywood. Sproggywood, if you guys have been, the fans of Ultra Confusion, have been around for a bit, you may have noticed that I played like 4 or 5 hours of it for my Extra Life 24-hour game-a-thon. I think back in November. Is that right? I don't know. It was in the past. And it was a very interesting game where as you progress through the game, you unlock characters. There's a story that goes with it. Every single level is created as you load in. So you have multiple level areas that you have to go through, and the top levels going to the boss. The boss level is always going to look the same, but all the levels above it are going to be randomly generated. So you're not going to be able to like, okay, well, there's a bad guy over there that I have to avoid. You won't know. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun because you have a bunch of characters that you can unlock, but there's also lots of twists and turns that you can avoid or try to jump at, try to help you. And of course, every single time that you start a new area, you start at level 1. I know everyone's like, what? You can't start at level 1? Well, here's the catch. Almost every single treasure box, I think maybe every single treasure box, has an item that you can upgrade your character as you progress through an area. The cool thing is, if it's a brand new item, what you can do, if it's I think it's, let's see here. It's an active item, an accessory, a weapon, and armor. Once you found it for the first time in the game, it gets the ability to purchase it so that you can basically pre-equip it before the level, so you have an immediate advantage the next time you run through an area. It happens. So the really cool thing about Sproggywood is, and this is why we really showed, I think, it almost exclusively on Sunday instead of rotating any other games through, was the fact that Sproggywood has been out on Steam for a while, but the exciting stuff, it's coming out on the iOS and Android. Now, I know that a lot of games have a little bit of a rocky time. You're kind of like, well, how the hell is it going to go from this platform to that? Sproggywood is turn-based, and I have this really, really good feeling that it's going to have a smooth transition. It looks phenomenal on a PC, but it's not photorealistic graphics, so it's not going to just ground your tablet into to a halt but it's going to be amazing as heck. And I know for a fact that I have at least, I inspired at least one person, perhaps 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know. There was a lot of people who came back by the booth on Sunday to get the game. The one person I know for sure, because he already told me, is Zelius. Zelius played a good chunk of Sproggy Wood on Sunday, and he was so inspired by the game, and he liked the fact of the randomness, and he liked the warrior character the most. I like the archer. I'm just gonna be honest. I like the archer. He's my man. He's my man. But as a result, he's bought Sproggy Wood, and I hope that everyone who came to MomoCon by our booth picks up at least one of the games we played: Sproggy Wood, Guns, Gore, and Cannoli, Steamroll Dig. God, I swear there's another game. We played a little bit of the Ouya, but the fact of the matter is, the Ouya is not a good device to use with a lot of Bluetooth enabled devices in the area, and so we were almost exclusively PC. So hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. For those of you who are for the first time tuning into any of these videos, hello, thank you for joining us, and I hope that you find out about some amazing video games that we're going to be showcasing in the near future. But I think I'm done with my rambling. Oh, I will say this. Okay, so there are a couple conventions that you need to know about. One of them, if you love board games, yes, I'm talking to you, board game fanatic 001234 ABCDEFG. I just made up that username. If there is someone out there with that username, then yes, exactly you. You, right? No, not you. The one behind. Okay. Screw it. Forget it. You know who I'm talking to. Everyone who likes board games. That's who I'm talking to. There is the small convention. It's happening in August. It's over. It's just a Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, there's no Friday, but that's cool because that means that you can condense it a little bit more into the awesomeness. And that, of course, is EndoCon. Excuse me. Excuse me. Whew. And EndoCon, of course, is going to be August 15th through the 16th at the Atlanta Marriott Perimeter Center. So for those of you who are like, well, I don't know how I'm going to be able to get there. I'm somewhere else. If you can get to MARTA, you go to the Dunwoody Station. You just literally drop to ground level on to Hammond Road, Hammond Drive. Walk across Hammond Drive like you're going away from Perimeter Mall. You go up the hill and boom, there's the Marriott. And I promise you, you're going to have an awesome time. There's a humongous game room. There's a very good sized game room that has tons of board games that you need to check out. I'm actually thinking about bringing some of the board games I have here that I really want to play, but I don't have the people to play. Actually, let's be honest. I'm scared to death of some of these rules, so I want to bring the board game to EndoCon and have someone read the rules to me so they can teach me the game. And of course, Ultra Confusion will be there to give you at least 2 panels. We are not opposed to jumping on random panels or trying to assist in any fashion in EndoCon, because Ando, the man, the myth, the legend behind the whole convention, is an awesome guy. Another convention that Ultra Confusion is going to be at, and it's going to be, I think that's the only other convention that Ultra Confusion is going to be at this year, is going to be MonsterCon. It's happening in Gaffney, South Carolina. It was in the 2 previous years at Furman University in Greenville, but that has now changed. It is now going to be in Gaffney. I do not know the name of the convention center or the expo hall that it's there, but just go to monstercon.org, I believe. Let me double check that. For more information on EndoCon, you can go to Facebook or you can go to endocon.org. But let me just make sure. Wow, if I can spell MonsterCon. Let's see what we got here. Monstercon.org. Yep. So basically, if you're a convention, you go to .org. Yeah. So anyways, we will be there. We'll have a fan table at MonsterCon, and we'll be giving 2 panels. The same 2. I know everyone's like, well, why do you keep giving the same panel every single time? Well, here's the gist of it. Every single time we do the panel, it's gonna be different because we like participant to add to the conversation, to ask questions, to actually hone our knowledge to help better the panel in future iterations. Of course, the one that changes the most, or has the potential of changing the most, is so you finish making your indie game, you think you're done, simply because that's really more about what you, the independent project designer, developer, whatever, what questions you have. What can we do to help you out? And I think that this past one was really good, even though we were 5 minutes late because Zelius and I were extremely tired and we kind of lost track out of pure exhaustion. So we apologize to those individuals who were there and you're like, where the hell are the panelists? We did make it eventually, and I think we had a really good panel. Okay, so seriously, I am done with the Something Slightly Different for tonight. I can't promise you that I won't have another one, or maybe whatever. There's going to be some more Something Slightly Different. You just don't know when they come because that's when I do them. I do them when you least expect it, or maybe you do expect it and I don't expect it. I just sit in front of my computer and go, record. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. From myself, Charlie, it's been a pleasure to give you this little quick roundup of MonsterCon and a bunch of other information, like some amazing games you need to check out, and of course, at least 2 more conventions that you need to add to your list. For MonsterCon, you're going to have to take Friday off. For AndoCon, all you need to do is get there. Actually, go to andocon.org right now, register so you can make sure that you are ready and prepared for some awesomeness that is happening during Saturday and Sunday in August. I mean, come on. And it's in Atlanta. So for all of you from around the Atlanta area, screw it. Come into town for AndoCon. Just go to andocon.org. And once again, check out, if you're going to check out 2 indie games that Ultra Confusion is really, really excited about, you have to check out Guns, Gore, and Cannoli and Sproggy Wood. So for myself, Charlie, it's been a pleasure to give you the craziness coming out of my mind. And yes, I am getting a little bit more animated because the caffeine is starting to kick in. So until next time, I will see you in some form or fashion and continue to be awesome.